I have unlimited resources, don't forget.
Alice's heart sank into her kid slippers. This was bad. The only silver lining here was the way Hatherly's cold gaze swept over her, with approximately the same amount of interest he might give a mouldy carrot. Excellent. She didn't need him to find her attractive. Quite the opposite. She needed him to find her repellent. So repellent that he'd be willing to give up his house rather than marry her. Alice had to make absolutely certain the option of marrying her was inconceivable. She had more pressing problems. No Fred. No passage to Calcutta. No reuniting the missing chapters of the Kama Sutra to make a whole. An adventureless lifetime stretching before her. A painstaking translation, mouldering in a drawer somewhere, unread, unloved. She must rid herself of the marquess swiftly and concoct another plan. But how to send him running? A man who wore such tight-fitting breeches required something custom-fit, Alice decided. Hit him where it hurts the most. "Papa, I simply can't marry Lord Hatherly given his—" She arched her eyebrows delicately and lowered her eyes to his snug breeches. "Condition."
"My what now?" Hatherly asked with a frown.
"The price you've paid for a lifetime of dissolution and dissipation."
"I've absolutely no idea what you're talking about, Miss Tombs."
"Come, 'tis plain for all to see. The unhealthful sheen upon your brow." Alice warmed to her topic, improvising glibly. "The greyish pallor of your skin." Actually, his skin was a nicely tan shade, as if he liked to be out of doors in summer in only his shirt-sleeves. "How your hands tremor." He looked down at one of his large hands for a moment in puzzlement. She shook her head sadly. "It is ever so with gentlemen who overindulge in drink, fatty meats, and other immoderate pleasures of the flesh." Hatherly stared at her with a gratifyingly dazed expression. "Stop this nonsense immediately, Alice!" Mamma stamped her foot and set the perfectly formed clusters of curls about her cheeks shaking.
"What are you implying, Miss Tombs?"
Lord Hatherly's deep bass voice held a jagged edge. "I'm not implying anything, my lord." She leaned closer to deliver the coup de grace. "Everyone says you'll never be able to sire an heir. Terribly tragic, I'm sure." She heaved a dramatic, anguished sigh, as if she were auditioning for the role of Lady Macbeth. "Out, damn marquess!" Hatherly stared at her as though she had crawled out from a crack in the wall. No young lady had ever dared impugn his manhood before. "Alice," her mother wailed, "such an indelicate topic. Are you just going to stand there, Sir Alfred? You must do something to stop your daughter. She's behaving most impertinently." Sir Alfred hooked his thumbs into his waistcoat pockets and regarded Alice with an amused smile.
"I'm rather enjoying myself, my dear. It's obvious they suit each other perfectly."
"Pardon?" Alice and Hatherly said in unison.
"We don't suit," the Marquess growled.
"Not in the slightest," Alice agreed. What a preposterous notion! She could never care for an idle nobleman with thoroughly unwholesome appetites, and he could certainly never care for her. All he cared for was his immediate gratification. He'd drink himself into an early grave if he didn't go mad first. Of course the lady didn't suit him. Not in temperament, she'd just implied he had brewer's droop for God's sake, or in appearance. Overly sweet and freshly scrubbed. Exactly as he'd remembered, with those deep, symmetrical dimples and glossy light brown hair clustered in ringlets on either side of her face. Her dress made his teeth hurt, all strawberry muslin and sugary lace, like a confection placed in a shop window to entice him into ruining his supper. Fortunately, Nick hated sweets, and he never took dessert. He accepted a glass of sherry from a footman.